Hi, I'd like to spend a couple minutes talking about the pragmatic way that I like to look at understanding Newton's third law. And the pragmatic approach is really thinking about what it tells us to do, and it's all about telling us how to draw free body diagrams or how to understand forces as they act on an object to then apply Newton's second law to looking at and looking for any changes in motion of that object. So my pragmatic approach says forces represent single interactions between two objects. We consider force as it acts on an object of interest. So for example, if I have two objects, object 1 and object 2, and this force represents an interaction between the two, either a push or a pull. Saying the force acts from object 1 to object 2 is the same as saying that the force acts from object 2 to object 1. From each perspective, the magnitude of the force is the same, but the direction of the force is reversed. So 1 pushes 2 to the left, 2 pushes 1 to the right. Yay, dyslexia of coordinates. I could say that 1 pulls 2 to the left, 2 pulls 1 to the right. That push or that pull is the same interaction whether we're looking at object 2 or object 1. The only difference is how we would draw our direction vector to sum up forces acting on 2 or to sum up forces acting on 1. So for most cases, Newton's third law says the force as a vector, if it's 1 acting on 2, would be the same as saying the force is 2 acting on 1, but in exactly the opposite direction. Now, the other case where Newton's third law really comes into play in a pragmatic approach is what happens when that force represents an internal action or an internal force. So internal forces, if they're pieces inside an object as a whole, necessarily we would have to consider both perspectives at the exact same time. So if I were to add those two pieces to each other, a force and its exact additive inverse, then the result is cancellation. So when we have internal forces cancel out and therefore cannot change the motion of a system as a whole. Thanks for watching.